So, why is Kino Casino buddying up to DSP? If you look at it on the face, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Could it be because they like Phil's content? I don't think so. It's kind of tough to do. Even so, the Kino Casino aren't unfamiliar with the internet and with locales in general. They have both of them, PPP and Andy Worski, have an extensive history on the internet, going all the way back to the internet Bloodsport days with Ethan Ralph and the Killstream. Eventually participating, and then after everything happened with Ralph, they ended up trolling him as well. Which got me thinking, with a lot of people speculating as to why they chose DSP specifically to buddy up to in a pretty clear buddy trolling op. I ended up thinking of the idea that they were using DSP to mess with Review Tech USA. For anyone who doesn't know, Review Tech USA is a lolcow in his own right. However, he used to commentate on and interact with other lolcows in an attempt to trick people into thinking he himself was not a lolcow. It did not work. He's obviously a lolcow. June the King put out a pretty good documentary going over a lot of his history for a lot of people who may not be familiar with him. In one of the larger parts of June the King's documentary also involves DSP, which was when Review Tech USA offered to give DSP a PC for free. This is back probably a few years, maybe a few years ago now, when DSP was begging for a PC. Review Tech USA made the offer, give him a brand new PC, only it'll cost shipping. DSP declined. And eventually Review Tech USA gave that PC to his editor. And a bit down the line, Review Tech USA and his editor parted ways, not the best of terms, and his editor started making content, live streaming of his own. However, noticed there was a lot of issues with his PC. Glitches, random stopping and starting of streams, donations not being processed correctly, etc. Eventually it was figured out that there was spyware and other command and control malware on the computer, presumably that Review Tech USA had put in an attempt to mess with DSP if he had accepted the PC. Also, this, to my understanding, was when everything with Review Tech USA's Dropbox was exposed, but that's a whole nother story. However, back to the topic on hand, it seems to me like Kino Casino is using DSP, hyping him up, treating him well, specifically to upset Review Tech USA. And it's already paid dividends. Review Tech USA has already come out on multiple occasions reacting to DSP being on Kino Casino, DSP changing his skin once again to act like the people on Kino Casino, and he's been throwing his little temper tantrums about it. And for anyone who is interested in other lolcows, specifically with Cyrax, seems to be somewhat similar to what Marty will do when he brings Tony the Black Dragon on stream. Tony Black Dragon's another lolcow, a lot of issues, but if you know Cyrax, both Tony and Cyrax are pretty similar. They're both hated on the internet for pretty similar reasons. So we put them both together, kind of put the mirror up to each other, and of course, both being lolcows, they have pretty high views of themselves and pretty low views of the other. So they pit them against each other, watch them argue basically against themselves. But it seems pretty clear why they're going ahead and doing this. However, I had thought of putting this video together around the first or second Kino Casino stream, but that was before Keemstar started butting up to DSP. That's when I took a bit of pause, because to me the Keemstar potential buddy trolling of DSP was a bit less explainable. DSP and Keemstar have a long history. DSP has on multiple occasions said that he despises Keemstar. I've said that he makes blood money. He never worked with him ever. It's popped off during the locale podcast recruiting, and then eventually again on the Side Scrollers podcast, where DSP and Keemstar spoke again, and of course DSP disavowed Keemstar, said he was awful, blood money, all of that, until Keemstar came swooping in to argue with Duty Streams about how he uses clips of DSP's content, supporting DSP while also taking the side of the YouTube creator program. So when I started thinking more about why Keemstar would be defending DSP, it was something that I've thought about for a while. However, due to all of the recent uproar with everything that happened with Keemstar and Duty and with Kino Casino, I missed one important thing, which was Duty releasing information about his AdSense and how much money he was making from DSP content. And that pretty clearly cleared a lot of things up for me and leads me to my current assumption, which is that Keemstar did not realize how popular hating on DSP is, how many views that gets, and how much money that brings in through the AdSense. He's doing his thing with Boogie and Wings of Redemption. However, definitely at this point, DSP is the much popular to hate lolcow and draws much more attention than either of them, if not both of them combined. Which is why I think Keemstar really started stepping in and guarding DSP. He also recently went on one of DSP's streams. They cleared the air. The chameleon DSP shed his skin once again and immediately treated Keemstar like an old buddy, despite on numerous occasions saying he despised him. He never wanted to associate with him. All his money is blood money, etc. And with a lot of this newer, I guess you'd say more mainstream attention that DSP is getting, while those particular channels aren't necessarily doing it because they want to promote DSP in a sense. I believe the casino is doing it to mess with Review Tech USA. Keemstar is doing it for money and clicks. I think it'd be interesting to see if anyone else who is associated with those two communities but not with DSP picks up on it and misinterprets the buddy trolling as actual like or affection. But we'll have to see. As of right now, it doesn't seem like that's happened too much. We'll see maybe if the June the King documentary drags a few more eyes to it. However, I'm not entirely sure there was anything too outlandish in that documentary that I believe would give DSP undue attention. But just something I've been thinking about for a while, something interesting I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good